Welcome back to Football HQ with Coach K. Today I want to start a series of something I've been thinking about doing for my own football team for a while, and that is just a football school for quarterbacks, quarterback school. So today I'm going to start maybe not with the most important, but just with something that you got to do right when you get into it, and that's identifying coverages. But we'll talk about footwork, talk about simple routes to run, different reads, that kind of thing, different methods of progressions and that kind of thing. So doing this for my quarterbacks as well as just something for the channel as well, and maybe you can help you if you're a player or a coach. Just a little tool you can have to go back and review. So today we'll start with identifying coverages. So thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and let's get to it. Okay, let's get into it. Quarterback school, part one, identifying coverages. And, as a quarterback, definitely, and I will say that the quarterback I'm speaking to is, one in the spread offense or the pro style offense where, you can be called on to pass the football a lot. If you're a wing T, triple option guy, this won't hurt, but this is not necessarily down your alley. We're not talking about midline reads or anything like that. So, first of all, why does it matter? And there's my man Cliff Kingsbury. But why does it matter that you need to be able to identify coverages? And there's several answers to it. But the first thing is this: as a quarterback, you have to be a student of the game. You have to be as prepared as possible for your opponent, and you have to have as much information as you can. And so, before the snap, you need to gather information in your head about what to expect from the defense. You'll have already watched film. You'll have a pretty good idea of what coverages to expect from your coach and from your film study, but as well, they might throw things at you haven't seen. That happens all the time to us, where we study for one thing, we prepare, and then all of a sudden we see something different. But this is just to make yourself as prepared as possible to make the best decisions that you can on the field. So you've got to know what coverage to expect, what they're going to do, and you must be a great decision maker to be a quarterback. And so part of that is seeing the coverage pre-snap and then getting a confirmation of what it is post-snap. So let's go ahead and get into them. Just go through the basic coverages. Today is basic. Later on, I'll have a video perhaps of some more complex coverages. We don't see a lot of those at the level I coach at in high school football, but you might see them, in your opponents. So let's start with the most basic one and perhaps the most common one, at least in where we coach and from what I see, and that is cover four. Now, this is drawn up against or with a 4-3 defense, so an even front of 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers. If it was a 3-4, then you get an extra linebacker on the inside, and so you'd have a hook to curl. It'll be a little bit different. So something you need to be sure you're aware of as a quarterback, that not just the secondary is important, but the down linemen and the linebackers will also affect what you're looking at. But here, basic thing here is you've got 4 deep zones. So this is to defend a deep pass, all right? And it's going to be hard to throw it over the top against this kind of defense. Now, if you have a matchup you like, then you take advantage of it. If you've got a speedster that can beat one of these corners, you do it. But you're going to want to attack this defense underneath. You see, you've got 3 linebackers who are not going to be as fast usually as the defensive backs. Have to cover this whole underneath zone here between about the line of scrimmage and 10 yards. So that's where we want to attack. We throw a lot of hitch routes, a lot of stick routes. We'll move our receivers in some motion, but we want to attack the flats right here. You see kind of the white areas. I mean, they're there for a reason. Those are the hook and curl areas you want to attack. We want to put these guys in a bad spot. So cover 4, you want to think underneath passes, and your coach will have, all kinds of concepts for you. Curl flat is one we like to run. We want to curl, and we put this guy in a bad spot, and we're going underneath the coverage here. So let's look at some screenshots of what it looks like in real life. This is my team that I coach on offense facing off against a team that is running a 3-4. All right, let me move my little picture here. So there's two high safeties. Now the phrase for that is the middle of the field is open. Now, although these safeties are pretty tight together, so the referee is kind of what's only open, but we'll see it a little bit. Usually the middle of the field is open, and that's a phrase you'll see a lot. So you want to look for crossing routes. Now again, they are smart. They're taking away our Y cross right here, I believe, because we like to send this receiver right here just on a basic Y cross route, and they're taking that away. But you see the corners are 7 to 8 yards off. All right, 7 yards plus, and their backs are to the sideline here. They don't have to have their backs to the sideline for it to be cover four, but look at the eyes. Okay, the eyes tell you a lot too. They are looking at the quarterback, so they are not in man coverage, all right, because their eyes are on the quarterback. So this is an easy read right here. This is cover four. So again, you can see the holes, the green grass or the green turf in this case, where you'd want to attack. All right, one more shot. Let's go to the next one. All right, here we are. Against a different opponent, still in our 22 formation. Okay, this opponent is they have a 5-man front, but it's 3 down, and outside linebackers walked up, and this is really an easy read. 2 high safeties. Now the middle of the field is open. You can see how they're a little more. We're in the left hash, and there's about 17 yards between them. And again, you got your corner 7 yards off or more with their backs to the sideline. So this is an easy look for cover four. And again, against these opponents, we want to run speed outs right here, especially with these linebackers walked up. We're expecting blitz. So we want to attack the green grass. So maybe the middle of the field right here. We threw a couple of deep balls in this game, but these guys were very good in the corners. So this team's strategy was to keep everything in front of them, give up the underneath passes, and make plays underneath. Which what you have to do is be patient in cover four and take what they give you. That's an important phrase that as a quarterback will make you better if you do that. Take what they give you. All right, let's go to cover two. Another 2 high safety look, but now the difference is the corners are the flat defenders. All right, so whereas before the outside linebackers were the flat defenders getting out here in the flats, the corners have that job. Sometimes they say they're clouding it. Notice how they're under 5 yards. All right, they have outside leverage, which is similar to cover four. And the safeties now have much more work to do. Okay, they have to cover a half the field instead of just a quarter of the field. So this puts them in kind of a tough spot sometimes. You can see again the white area here. So this is where you want to attack. You really have 3 deep areas to attack these 2 safeties. So cover 2, you want to get a little more vertical. The underneath stuff, there's 5 defenders now for the underneath stuff. So you want to get a little more aggressive with it. Here's an opponent of ours in a different season. Giving us a cover 2 look. We don't see much cover 2 in the league that I play in, but you can see he's under 5 yards. You've got 2 very wide but high safeties. All right. The middle of the field here is very, very open. All right. And then this guy is kind of giving you kind of an in-between look. And teams will do that between cover 2 and cover 4. They'll disguise them. And you can get a post-snap read very quickly by putting your eyes on the corner and see what they do. But this is the closest I could find to a cover 2 look, I believe. And he's about to get down in his stance. The ball's on the 25 and he's on the 19. So he's 6 yards off. So he's in that in-between zone, but right here is definitely a cover 2 look. But again, he could very easily bail into a cover 4. You see that right here. We're showing blitz off the edge. So that tells you that they're going to lose this zone right here. I mean, wherever the blitz is coming from, they're losing that zone in the coverage. Now, they will sometimes have ways to adapt to that, but instead of having 3 middle zones covered, they only have 2. So pretty easy to see perhaps where the ball should go. Now we end up running a tunnel screen on here for a touchdown, but because of a look that we liked, but we also could have run some quick slants or something to get the ball right in the middle of the field. Next one, now let's go to our 1 high safety tree. So the last 2 were 2 high safeties. The middle of the field is open. Now the middle of the field is closed. You look up and you see 1 high safety. So that means there's an extra linebacker down here. Okay, you got 4 linebackers, kind of a 4-4 look. Still 4-3 is the name of the defense, but you took your strong safety and you moved him here. And again, you got 4 defenders for the lower zone. Okay, and then the deep zone's got 3 defenders. So you can see the white areas. Okay, you want to attack the white areas, the middle of the field under the safety, the vertical seams in between the safety and the corners, and then kind of get around these hook to curl areas. Flats are still not bad. You can still get to the flats quite often, especially with a little play action fake to hold these outside linebackers. Cover three against this offense, against a 2-by-2 or just a spread offense is tough, and we should be able to take advantage of it in a lot of areas. This is really designed to stop the run. Look, you've got 8 guys close to the box or in the box. Not quite, but you got 6 and almost 8. but you've got a lot of space they have to cover in pass coverage. A play action fake and some speed outs and some curls can really hold these guys. Kind of a fuzzy picture, but here is the team that I coach in cover 3. Now we're playing against a flex bone team, so these guys are that way because they're about to run a triple option. But there's still 4 receivers possible, with the running back being a 5th. But you see, we have 1 high safety. We've closed the middle of the field. Now we are cutting our corner way down because we don't think that they're going to throw it out there, trying to worry about the outside pitch. But still, he's got his back to the sideline. His eyes are inside, so we're giving a definite cover 3 look right here. 1 high safety. Our corners have their back to the sideline. They're 7 yards off the ball. So this is an easy read. And if they were going to throw it, there's seams. Okay, you see where the green grass is. There are the flats. If they want to hold these linebackers with some play fakes, they can do that. But this is a defense that we designed to stop the run, and that's what we're worried about, a triple option team. Here's a different look of a different team, just a scouting film that I have. This team is in empty. They have no running backs, and this team has 1 high safety. That's a little unusual. You want to attack that vertically if you can, because you've got 5 vertical threats and only 3 vertical defenders. Now you're going to expect blitz. You've got 6 on 5 right here. They should be blitzing, but still, you see the 1 high, and if you get this look, you should be salivating as a quarterback, because you have a chance to really attack them if you're in an empty set. Let's go. All right, next 1 high safety is cover 1, okay, which means man coverage. All right, see, there's no circles on this one. Okay, there's no zones to be covered. The free safety is truly free. Often it's called 1 free. He is just scanning the field, playing center field, just trying to see who gets beat, who needs help. Maybe they have some preconceived ideas of who they want to cover, but everybody else is manned up. And what you get, which is really good, is you get inside receivers against linebackers, especially right here. All right, this is a matchup you really like, maybe a corner route, the smash concept. You also get a linebacker against your running back. So these are the 2 areas you would really want to look at. And of course, if you have a matchup out here as well, you can do that, but plenty to attack right here. So here is our team against a cover 1 look. All right, you've got, again, you can see they're matched up. They're under 5 yards, okay? Now his eyes are peeking, but I bet his coach doesn't like that. This linebacker right here has his eyes on our receiver. So this is cover 1. Again, they could be bluffing. They could bail into cover 3, especially on this side because they're a little bit softer. But definitely up top, it ended up being a cover 1 look. But sometimes if you're not sure, where are their eyes can tell you a lot. And I really believe after I screenshot of this, I think his eyes go to our Z receiver. Here is the same team, the same opponent, and we're in trips. And they have a kind of an extra linebacker that's in between, kind of what you call a robber, but you still see a cover 1 look. Okay, manned up here, man, 1 high safety. He is not a high safety. He is only 5 yards off the ball, so we treat him as a linebacker. But he is there to take away crossing routes. So it's something you would want to look for. This is an unusual look from a defense, but they wanted to try to, and you see it's 4th down, so they're getting aggressive right here. So that's a 1 high look, all right? And the last one, the way it's drawn up here is not the way I usually see it, but cover 0 means there's no safeties deep, there's no help. They're for sure going to bring a blitz, and cover 1, they'll bring a blitz as well. Don't forget that. If you have man coverage, expect a blitz somewhere. But in this case, the running back, the free safety has him. Now, the way I've usually seen it is they walk this guy up and blitz him off the edge. But that tells you if, one way or the other, somebody has got the running back and, to his side. And what usually happens is you just know that, like, the Mike would know if the running back is on his side, that they would just decide who takes them. But in this case, it's the free safety. That means these guys are blitzing. Okay, they're not just sitting there; they are coming after you. All right. So cover 1, cover 0, expect blitz, get it out quick. All right. Let's end this first video with a little quiz. I've got some animated video to show you. See if you can identify the safeties from a quarterback's perspective. Okay, let's use this app that is Go Army Edge. It's a great app. Let's use this to see if we can identify some coverages. So we're looking from the quarterback's perspective at the defense here. So I'm going to pan across. There's the right side of the defense. Look at the middle and look at the left. I'm going to give you a second for a little quiz time. What, to your coach or, just in your head, what coverage do you see right now based on which ones you're looking at there with the corners and safeties? I'll give you about 5 or 10 seconds. All right, and you should have said cover four. All right, first we're going to check the safeties, and we see there are two. One of them's kind of hiding behind the linebacker here, and there's so it's too high, so that gives us immediately the idea that we're looking at cover four or cover two. So then our next look is the corners, and this corner is 7 yards off the ball, and this one is as well. Now they don't have their back to the sideline, and that's just really because I couldn't get the animation to do that. But you can see that, and their heads would probably be more looking in at the quarterback themselves. Again, that's just my animation problem. But again, clearly cover four. You can see that they're 7 yards off. Now, to verify that pre-snap, depending on again what your routes are, and again everything else. But what do they do at the snap? Do they bail? Do they do they cloud? What do they do? So the pre-snap read is just that, a pre-snap read. But this looks like cover four more than likely. Okay, here we are again. Let's scan the defense. Okay, and I didn't point out the first time, but again, we are in trips here on offense. All right, so you see our three receivers to the right, and then one to the left. I will say, just without giving away the coverage, you see a different front here. You see a four-man or an even front. And on the previous play, we had an odd front, a 3-4, but that doesn't affect the coverage in this case. Sometimes it can, but not here. So you looked at it now, and hopefully you see cover three. I see one high safety. All right, the middle of the field is closed, which really you don't see a lot of cover three two trips, although we have in the past. So, I just really wanted you to recognize that. You see one high safety, and then the corners are 7 yards off, so cover three. All right, again, maybe their eyes should be looking at us, but again, we got a cover three look. They're going to be deep thirds. Okay, and we would want to attack again. You see all the space, even from the quarterback's view, you see the space. So that, all right, let's look at the next coverage here. We're still in our trips on offense. Look at the defense, scan over it a little bit. Look here, again, this is about as fast as you need to be able to do it in about 2 to 3 seconds, just like that. So you hopefully identified cover one. All right, you see the one high safety again, okay, right there. But as you check the corners, they're under four, and we can see just pretty much matched up all the way across. All right, now, again, at the snap, you got to confirm that, all right? Now, the fact that, again, that his eyes in this case are correct, they're staring right at him, his eyes are not on you, his back is not to the sideline in any way. But if they were just to bail at the snap, they could be bluffing cover three, but this looks like cover one, and you can confirm that, at the snap. Now, also, I walked the linebackers up a little bit. Cover one, you should expect a blitz. Man coverage, most of the time, you're going to get a blitz. So these guys have been walked up into the gap, so you're going to get a 6-man pressure, and depending on what your running back, where do you go? Depending on what your buddy's doing right there, you might be ready to either throw a hot to him, or hopefully he's in your protection if he's not, if you can't get the ball in a hot. So that's cover one. Okay, for the last one, I went ahead and switched the offense to a double set 2x2. You can see the safeties and the corner. Okay, take a look at it there. And so tell me what you see now. And of course, what's left is cover two. All right, you got the two high safeties. You have got the corner who is almost in a press, so he's gonna be the flat defender in this play. All right. Again, you can see the space that you want to attack. The middle of the field is open behind the middle linebacker right here. All right. You see that, again, there's the even front of the defense, but this is cover two. All right. And those are the base ones. I'll have another video another time to share perhaps some more complicated ones, or some ones where you mix and match. At the level I coached, at the high school level, we don't see much of that, but you might, depending on who your opponents are. So come back and see part two of the quarterback school. I'm glad you were here with us for part one.